Chapter 14, The Buddha, verse 179. The Buddha's victory over defilements cannot be undone. Nothing in the world follows him to challenge it. The Buddha's field of knowledge is limitless. Defilement-free is his path. By what track can you trace such a trackless Buddha?
Verse 180. Craving is like a net. It wraps beings up in existence. That craving no longer exists in the Buddha. Therefore, there is no way that one can tempt the Buddha towards existence. The Buddha's field of knowledge is limitless. Defilement-free is his path. By what track can you trace such a trackless Buddha?
Verse 181. The Buddhas are wise and devoted to meditation and delight in the peace of renunciation. Such mindful ones, the Buddhas, even the gods hold dear.
Verse 182. It is difficult to be born as human. Difficult is the life of beings. It is difficult to gain the opportunity to hear the true Dhamma. Rare is the appearance of Buddhas.
Verse 183. To avoid all evil, to cultivate wholesome qualities, and to cleanse one's mind. This is the teaching of the Buddhas.
Verse 184. Patience is the highest virtue. The Buddhas say that Nibbana is supreme. One who destroys others is no monk. One who harms others is no monk.
Verse 185. Not disparaging others, not destroying lives, practicing restraint by the monastic rules, moderation in food, dwelling in faraway, secluded forest monasteries, and devotion to meditation. This is the teaching of the Buddhas.
Verse 186. Not even with a shower of gold coins would a person find satisfaction in sense pleasures. They only give little gratification, but much suffering. The wise person understands this reality.
Verse 187. The disciple of the fully enlightened Buddha finds no delight even in heavenly pleasures. He delights in the destruction of craving, Nibbana.
Verse 188. People threatened by fear go to many refuges, to mountains, forests, parks, trees, and shrines.
Verse 189. Going for refuge to mountains, forests, parks, trees, and shrines is never a secure refuge. None of these is a supreme refuge. By going to such a refuge, one is not released from all suffering.
Verse 190. If one has gone for refuge to the Buddha, the teaching of the Buddha, and the disciples of the Buddha, he will realize with developed wisdom the Four Noble Truths.
Verse 191. The Four Noble Truths are suffering, the arising of suffering, the overcoming of suffering, and the Eightfold Path leading to the ending of suffering.
Verse 192. Going for refuge to the Buddha, the teachings of the Buddha, and the disciples of the Buddha is the secure refuge. This is the supreme refuge. By going to this refuge, one is released from all suffering.
Verse 193. The birth of the best of men, the Buddha, is very rare. Such a person is not born everywhere. Where such a wise hero is born, that entire clan flourishes in happiness.
Verse 194. To see the Buddhas is happiness. The hearing of the true Dhamma is happiness. The harmony of the disciples of the Buddha is happiness. The diligent Dhamma practice of those in harmony is happiness.
Verse 195 to 196. He who offers gifts to those worthy of offerings, the Buddha or his disciples who have transcended obsessive thinking, passed beyond sorrow and lamentation. The merit of those who venerate such peaceful and fearless ones can never be calculated by any measure.